Today we're going to be exploring scientific notation. So scientific notation is a way of taking a really large number or a really small number and write them using exponents so that we don't have to fill in so many zeros or have such a large number or small number to have to write on a page. So we're going to start with a little investigation. It says write the following numbers in scientific notation. And there are two different numbers here. They're not that big, but I wanted something that we could work with that was manageable. So I'm going to start with the number 3,000. So I'm going to try to come up with different ways that I could write the number 3,000. So 3,000 would be the same thing as 300 times 10, right? If I were to check that on my calculator, 300 times 10 is 3,000. I could also write it as 30 times 100. If I check that, 30 times 100 is 3,000 as well. Or this is the same thing as 3 times 1,000, right? I can check that on my calculator as well. 3 times 1,000 is 3,000. So the reason that I wrote them out in different ways and the reason why I picked 10 is because scientific notation is based around powers of 10. Now 1,000 is a 1 with 3 zeros, and 1,000 is actually the same thing as 10 to the power of 3. 10 to the power of 3 is 1,000. So I'm going to say here that 3,000 is the same thing as 3 times 10 to the power of 3. Now this is just an investigation. I don't expect you to break every number you see down the same way I just did. We're just trying to look to see what is the connection between an original number and the number in scientific notation. So I'm going to try one more. I have 52,000. So I'm going to start doing the same thing. So 52,000 would be 5,200 times 10. And I'm not going to check on my calculator this time, but you can if you need to. It would be the same thing as 520 times 100, or 52 times 1,000. Now I am going to go a step further on this one. I'm not going to stop just at 52. I'm going to try doing 5.2 times 10,000. And I am going to check that one on my calculator. So if I do 52, a lot of glare there, times 10,000, I get 52, hold on, 52, sorry, 5.2 times 10,000. Helps if I put in the right numbers. And I get 52,000. So when something is in scientific notation, there should only ever be one number in front of the decimal point, right? So here I had a 3, which was fine because it was just one number. But here when I had 52, that's 2 digits, and I only want to have 1 digit in front of the decimal point. So I moved it so that it was 5.2. Now 10,000 is the same thing as 10 to the power of, there are 4 zeros there, so 10 to the power of 4. And if you're not sure, you can check 10 to the power of 4 is 10,000. So that's the nice little trick about powers of 10, is that if you count the zeros, that's the exponent that would be on a 10 that would give you that number. So in scientific notation, 52,000 is 5.2 times 10 to the 4. And 3,000 was 3 times 10 to the power of 3. Now, there is a shortcut for doing this if you're interested. On each of these numbers, the decimal point started behind the number. So on this one, I ended up moving the decimal 1, 2, 3 spots. So you'll notice that the exponent here was a 3. On this one, I moved the decimal 1, 2, 3, 4 spots, and you'll notice that the exponent here was a 4. So you always want the decimal to be after the first digit, and then you use the number of times that you move the decimal place to help you figure out the exponent. We'll take a look at some examples in the next video.